I think the Jupiter return at 12 is already a transition to the next period, from 14 onwards, to the so-called teenage years. The teenage years may start a bit earlier, or they may not completely coincide with these 7-year moments, but I think around 12, we can see another force which is getting active. This is a return. So maybe out of the planets outside, the ones that we later on begin following by transit, and we are thinking of them as the major transiting planets. So this is from Jupiter onwards. Now, for the first time, we have one of those planets returning, making one full circle around the chart. So at 12 years old, our own Jupiter, the way we had it in our birth chart, would have traveled. So the transiting Jupiter would have traveled to every single house, every single area of our birth chart, and came back to the starting point at 12 years old. So this is some sort of initiation in society, I believe. Saturn is also an initiation in society, but more in terms of what this new world wants from you. Now, Jupiter is more, I think, about what you want from that world, what you now for the first time start getting interested in, curious about. So your eyes are now starting to fix outside in the world of the grown-ups and all the wonders that surround you. The child is beginning to emerge from its own inner world, that otherwise this period is more about, exploring yourself, testing your will. You're testing your parents, your peers, your siblings. You're sometimes confrontational, sometimes you're challenging. This is the Saturn square. But at the same time, or slightly later, you are getting interested. You're getting inspired. And that's the Jupiter return. Now, there are potential things out there that you want to learn about, not because someone is telling you, you must do this in order to gain the skills and the adaptation, the preparation that you need to go forward, but you want to do this in order to expand your world yourself. And again, that might be a moment when we can also watch out for what catches our eye, what we really naturally get interested in, because this is later, these things in life, Saturn and Jupiter create the world of reality that is there, taken for granted. Jupiter is that part of this world which is what we then choose to identify with, what we choose to believe in, and what we choose to study later. So yeah, I think the Jupiter return is another step of growing up, another step of maturing, slowly but surely. And it is starting to give the chance to the child to choose, especially if the parents allow it to choose. I think that Jupiter return moment is a moment when we need to listen, what we are attracted to naturally out there. This is a moment of inspiration in a very Jupiterian, Sagittarian way. Children very often get into stuff. It will give in eventually to the moment when we enter the teenage years and people become more interesting. To some extent, even though that period is Saturnian, I think we can connect it to a lot of freedom. Maybe this is the last time in our lives when we were really, if things are well in the family and in the environment, because many times they aren't, but if things are well, that could be a very spontaneous period, when we can just be concerned with ourselves and with our own world